But hey, it has been a long day for both teams and for us casters as well. So mistakes definitely will be made. The Glue and the Focus would band out alongside Paquito. Don't want to deal with that at all.
Glue first ban, hoping to open up even more here. Every time when I see, not your mainstays getting banned away means that, they're looking for even more, right? Paquito ban, permaban, I would say, if you're dealing against Whelan right here. Even the Benedetta goes into play as well. And all of a sudden, I feel like earlier just now, if Whelan actually went for the Esmeralda, maybe there's a chance. I hope KZP actually drops that for him.
Yeah, a lot more adjustments need to be made. Whelan is such a versatile player. He's good at what he does. And in this current meta, in this current patch, and especially this current roster, Whelan would excel more in a high damage soaker and sustained fighter instead of a pure damage dealer in the form of Martis, in the form of a Benedetta, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, Khalid is also still better than the God of Contra earlier just now, right? Like, you're able to wave clear your mid, you're also able to threaten with the Raging Sandstorm onto the gourd. I think it feels like a more having food.
It kind of feels also disjointed in a way for Team Singapore. Typically we see the mid lane duo rotating together, but this time around it kind of seems like Bellamy has one hit to go up to the top side, Royvin's just going down the bottom side and just block and pushing up into the mid again. So it's just a lot of disjointed efforts from Singapore.
Yeah, first pick in the hands of Team Singapore right now. Juicing ban, that's usually our side ban. So what do they go for? Marcel?
Obvious Marcel.
Claude? I've seen Claude first picks.
Take it out from Elton. I think that is a huge threat to Singapore.
Yep, Elton has been playing Claude for 3 games in a row. I think you just have to shake up the drop just a little bit. Kalea first pick.
That means you're giving over the Claude once again to Elton. They're happy about this. They're just laughing at that. They're feeling good. There's that Kai once again. I'm not too surprised if that would be the Marcel, even if they want to shake things up. Board once again.
Okay. At the very least, it's still almost. I foresee a potentially similar drop coming out from the side of Team Malaysia again. Since they don't really need to fix the roster, just go ahead and pick up everything that they pick in game number 1 and technically speaking game number 3 in the previous series. If Team Singapore decides not to mess up the draft as well,
this could very well go for a Valentino once again. I would say Jinxiang should go straight for an assassin pick. Try to switch things up. Man, they're already way behind, and maybe take this time to experiment what works for this roster.
Yeah, double assassin, why not, right?
Yeah.
Suyo and also a, well, not Vincetar, but like, okay. Unfortunately, Benedetta's already banned away. Okay, it seems like Team Singapore
adjustments. Okay.
Adjusted just a little bit, going for the Baxia Claude instead.
Denying the clock away from Elton, so we did see Elton with quite a bit of high-hitting heroes like carries and the Moscows before as well, so it's not too much about an issue. SGP, Singapore should look to try to target ban onto the gold laner for this period, open up a little bit more options for the EXP side. I think that should be the approach for now. Malaysia doesn't want Cho to get banned out. They know that Singapore fears Zorn's Cho or Hashim's Cho, so they just want to take it off the tables first.
Yeah, and that's... I don't know, man. I don't know, Churros. You're the Singaporean right here on the desk.
No, for now, no, I'm just kidding. Don't quote me on that one.
Well, as the Malaysian on the desk, I don't know, I feel you're right, because I technically stayed here for like close 10 years already. Watch definitely Whelan grow from, your rookie all the way to now. And also to a certain extent, Jinxiang, right? Like from a rookie to now. But I feel like, there's no fight left on the side of Team Singapore. Team Malaysia, just snuffing that momentum out right off the bat in game number 1.
Yeah. The first 2 games, definitely a slaughterhouse for Singapore. It would be good if they were able to take at least 1 game off of Malaysia. At least 1 game for the nation themselves. But man, oh man, this is extremely hard to watch. And it's pretty slow. They're thinking about this, they're internalizing, they're making the adjustments, but it's all down to the execution. The Kalea first pick, I was really stunned and really surprised upon. Because
I haven't seen that in this...
in AGQ at the very least.
Yeah,
not even from the other regions, from the other groups as well.
Yeah, I mean, Kalea first pick was kind of like a past meta drop, right? No,
it wouldn't be a B1 pick. It would probably be a
B3?
R2, R3 at the very most.
I would say B3 at the very most. But okay, at the very least, right? Team Malaysia and also Team Singapore, they're going to play kind of similar play style, right? Like, you got a Kalea for the pick, you also got the Cho for the pick, right? And now, back to the bans. If you take a look, Team Malaysia bans away two mid laners, right? The Roy's Royce, Lilia,
Yeah, Royce,
Kimmy, Sreang and Arlot banned as well. Team Malaysia opted for the Harith instead. Esmeralda looking juicy?
Yeah, 100%. I think they should pick that up. He's played pretty well before in Singapore. And so facing up against the Harith, you have a constant output of shields, especially not only for the Harith, but for the Cho as well. But then you leave a lot of options open for Malaysia to pick something up, like maybe, I don't know, if you want to really try extremely hard, you could go for a Dairoth if you're in Malaysia, you know.
Yeah, I'm also thinking Valentina for the side of Roy once again. But it feels like, you know, game number 1, they cannot really find anything as of now. Maybe try something else. What about Vexana?
Ooh, interesting. Royvin is one of those players that likes the artillery major, so Vexana would definitely not be off the table.
Yep,
Just
talk
yet.
about
Ruby will be locked down right here, so that would be the answer for the Harith and the Cho. And a lot of CCs, definitely annoying to deal with. We've seen how it was played very well in the earlier game today. I can't believe it has been like 7 hours since the Hong Kong-China game. I think a little bit more than 7 hours. That's been like, what?
No, I feel like we're already on our 10th-hour shift as of now. But of course, shout out to other casters across the different regions as well. Shout out to the Fel, Riz, Ranger Amas, and also the Indonesian casters as well. I think it's KB. Yeah, KB as well. Thank you very much for joining us in helping us to deliver a good show over to your own respective languages. Technically speaking, if you take a look at Team Singapore's roster, I think not the worst I've seen so far. Hopefully that switch up is something that we can take a look, right? And not only just that, right? Ruby switch up in terms of more damaging kind of fighter, kind of Ruby. Maybe up, you know, Whelan's sleeve right now.
Singapore's roster also shows a lot of rotation from the mid lane trio. At the very least, you have the Wings by Wings. You've got the rolling wheels from the box as well. So hopefully we see a lot more skirmishes, a lot more engages coming in from Singapore. But for Malaysia, though, they only have one target and one target only for the early game. Just take down Roy. Then you don't have a artillery mage to deal with at all. In the late game, just try to disrupt Keith as much as possible.
I mean, the Varsa is definitely under threat, right? Kai Heavy Spin, and not only just that, the Bravest Warrior from the side of the Lapu Lapu.
And even the Mystic
bombs as well. Yeah, Varsa is still very squishy. So it's about the positioning coming up side of Roy as well. And I like the fact that, hey, I'm still calling Roy because that's his IGN.
That's
so
his IGN, and
that rolls on the tongue normally for me.
Yeah. But, you know, he just put it as Royvin, so saying the whole thing, it is kind of weird, I do agree. But this is game number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, Singapore and Malaysia 1 game away from sealing the deal on this victory.
Yep.
Sibling rivalry, a bitter rivalry between these two teams.
Purify check, it's only just Ilton going into the Purify. Even Amar going into Flicker instead, definitely required, right? You need that Flicker to reposition your Mystic Gush to be able to land down the damage. Flicker ultimate for the side of Razib is very important as well. So yeah, I feel like that's potentially why at the very least, you know, Bellamy may potentially have a better game this time.
Yeah. And single target pick off, the main target that they would want to go for is Elton. We would be able to lure out and bait out the Purify with Whelan in the later stage of the game. In the early game though, this would be over the side of Amar, and then he's taking the Flicker instead of the Purify, and it would be a little bit easier for Bellamy to get that jump onto the back line to get Amar in. And it's a little bit less of a ramp up compared to the AOG.
Yep. Well, at least any form of pickup is great right now at this point in time. Some traits happening all across the map between Team Singapore and Team Malaysia. At the very least, Keith seems very comfortable going up against Harith down bot.
Yep. A decently slower game this time around where both teams are not going to just make a move as and when they want. Hisham just doing Hisham things and just working his way around the map, giving intelligence, and he's on reconnaissance duty. Singapore really needs to find Whelan up to par and getting that rotations down towards that turtle pit ASAP.
Yep. Right now, don't forget, Nasan does have the heavy speed. He will commit all to that for now. Also, the Bravest Warrior completed by Razib. Hisham all the way, finds the back line. The massive sword slams right onto Roy, and also Jinxian. Nice hook coming up on Whelan though, but he's definitely going to be more than that one. Bellamy returns the kill at the same time. The Ruby output and damage. Whelan picking up and not assisting, picking up for that kill.
It's the beauty of that Ruby. And in one point in time, this is just chain stuns. But speaking of chain stuns, just everything that transpired out there was Bellamy jumping straight into Najad, reacted by throwing on the heavy spin, pushing Jinxiang into Amar's face and taking a full Mystic Gush to the face. We'll be able to see this now. Jinxiang was way too far ahead of the rest of the team. Hasif and as well as Hisham just doing the Lord's work, just pushing the rest of Singapore at bay and away from where Jinxiang would potentially need to be.
Yep, well, we're watching the instant replay. Bellamy got taken down. I believe that should be by Nashan, if I remember correctly. No, it's not Nashan.
No, Amar.
Yeah, Amar. As well, another kill.
He's got 2 kills for this board in the early stage of the game. And Amar is still, you know, untouchable at this point. There is a gap closer at this point, which is Bellamy. If you speaking of which, Bellamy.
Finding onto the damage onto Hisham as well. Just sidestep that feather airstrike. Frontside Roy, and now Whelan's been for the win. Nashan and also Razif tag team. That's also going to be a hook. But Whelan's taking a lot of damage right here. The sustainability coming on Whelan is keeping him safe for now.
Yep, Hisham back on that top side to respawn.
Heavy spin as well, right onto Amar. Missing guns. We've been here before, Churros. Wait, Jinxiang still able to walk away.
Yep, just in the nick of time. Damage was not enough from Amar, but we've seen how much damage that Amar can do right from the get-go. This is still the 4-minute mark, my friend. And Jace, this is still looking kind of dire. Singapore's still right all over the place. Malaysia's just taking advantage of the situation where Singapore is, hey, I want to fight in the bottom side, I want to fight in the mid side, and I'm leaving Diablo White alone.
Okay, seems like everybody, it seems like Nashan walks in the wrong part of the bush, but Razif, right there, everybody from the side, Team Singapore is so clumped up, makes Razif so easy to go in, and not just that, Kim joining the fight as well. Blazing Dubai will be able to fight 3 members from the side, Team Singapore going down 4, surprise of 2.
That's a consolation kill, but at the very end of the day, Malaysia, especially for Razif, found so much of a nice stun up with the Bravest Spider onto 4 members of Singapore. All the key resources already used up.
And it seems
it's just a brawl. It's just you see someone, you take someone. You try to go for a pickoff whenever you can.
Yeah, and you know, Team Malaysia was putting a lot of damage in that mid lane turret as well, taking advantage of the fact that, you know, 3 members from the side Team Singapore went down. Razif is definitely feeling it, man. He's on his Lapu. He's just, everybody from the side Team Singapore is just so clumped up. He's spreading damage all across the board.
Yep, there is still a little bit of a difference though. Instead of face up against Keith, that's a kick over to Bellamy.
Better airstrike as well. Razif goes in, Bravest Warrior as well, and now he's getting Amar picking up the killing spree onto Bellamy. This is not looking good so far. Keeps still be able to crack the top side turret for now. Nashan stuck Whelan all the way across the wall as well, and the Mystic Gush Amar, last if it's on kill. Nashan rings the dinner bell and Amar swoops it up.
A very difficult position for where Singapore wants to be. Keith keeping busy on that top side, taking a little replay. That was the stun. That is Razif coming in, and Hisham just jumping on top of every single one of the members of Singapore and just punishing them for killing their jungle. That's just an absolute banger, an instinctual play coming in from Malaysia, clumping up together. Singapore, man.
Amar is forced to run away for now. Keith is still working on the mid lane turret to this Poissons already used by the side. Jinxiang clear, picking off Razif as Elton going to the double fall. Zip is zapping around. Keith still holding on to the Blazing Duet though, unable to commit for that one. Amar once again. Once I see the heavy spin, you see the Mystic Gush, but Keith finds a shutdown onto Amar.
There is a silver lining, and his name is Keith, our Lord. Our God, Benix is coming to play. But then again, it's still an uphill battle. It's still an uphill climb. He's still 1 item in. He still needs 2 more to be able to come fully online and deal some work. The rest of the members of Singapore really need to play it safe. Malaysia's finding these quick and easy pickoffs that you don't want them to find. There is that shutdown goal that Keith had taken for himself. But take a look at the fights over here. Everyone's just target prioritization on the kill zone. They don't want to step a little bit too close. And Keith just taking that BMI into the face of that Mystic Gush. And they know that Keith is now their savior, and they can play towards him.
And now it's going to be Kalia going in. It's going to be Elton using Fair Fire. Keith picking up a killing spree already. He's dives all the way deep. It's also going to be Jinxiang picking up to Hisham as well. A bit of signs of life for the side Team Singapore though.
Oh, that is just signs of life. There is a heartbeat for Singapore.
Someone use CPR.
This is not a house of cards. This is your house and mine.
All right, right now, jumps aside, right? Keep, you know, these pickouts is amazing right now. Team Malaysia this time around. Welcome to London event. Razif picking up the kill onto the side of Whelan as well. Goes into the Bravest Warrior. Amar, that Mystic Gush is just outputting so much damage. And Jinxiang has to forfeit the turtle though.
The bouncing bombs is just such an annoying threat. That's a very long range stun. Singapore, okay, they stole away that turtle.
Yeah, and that's the box there, right? Like, just drive by and then steal just Reggie steal the turtle away from Nashan, and then after that you proceed it on. A bit of a consolation prize. Gold lead is still not too far away. Keith is on a scaling clock, and we hope that this could be it.
There's the jump that we love to see. This is the replay from earlier on. Keith is really just coming online, especially with the 3 kills under his belt in the killing spree. He does have a little bit more economy for him to at least stay afloat or keep Singapore afloat at this time. The issue really lies in, hey, if you know that your enemies are coming in, you know your enemies are playing around you on that defense, don't overstay your welcome. This is the crux of Singapore.
Yeah, protecting Keith once again, right?
He has to protect the president.
It's just gameplay as old as time. You notice Elton on the other side of the map also shoving up top. Nazhan picks up the Chinese Trojan already in preparation of Keith. But apart from Keith that could reliable do the damage, do the Lord's work against Team Malaysia for now. Ryvan on this far side, I haven't seen a bit of an impact coming up from him as of now.
I think also Wheelman has been relegated up on that top side to handle the fat wave that's pushing down towards the top. So for Team Singapore, they don't really have a lot of chain CCs, but keep really showing us how this Claude is working, and it's showing that damage. They just need to play it safe and try to go for those pickoffs. You see how far that they have zoned out away from Keith. They need to protect Keith, and so that is the answer. The way that Malaysia would potentially play this is if Hisham is able to get into the face of Keith, try to force a Purify, and then Najang comes in with the heavy spin.
I just secured the Holy Crystal, so that's a massive power spike for this Harry as of now. Haven't found any further kills. Oh, Jesus! Found onto Amar as well. Immediate pick off onto the Feather Airstrike as well. But Hisham also could do the same. Jump onto Royman immediately get deleted. Oh, Keith right now is one in trouble. Also, burst on the Purify, trying to lay down onto the damage, but now it's just Natsan on the Sakai. Just heavy spin, 2 members down. Just one more.
That's the punish for the Blazing Duet.
Blazing Duet all the way to the back line as well. Keith this time around may have run out of steam. The BMI unable to return. It's a shutdown. Give it over to Team Malaysia.
That is smart considering that Razib was the one who popped the Purify, and right now they're still in the midst of fight. They still want to challenge this.
Yeah, Wheelan's still in the fight right here. Jin Xiang can still do quite a decent chunk of damage over and over again, but Team Singapore and also Team Malaysia disengages.
Good punish though. Good catch from Bellamy, using the flicker to get over to Amar, but then the punish really came through. They didn't know where Elton and Hisham always coming in from that backdoor play, and Elton had a free reign of that Zaman Force over on the back line, that damage being dealt as well. You can't really deal a lot of damage without Keith, and Keith just on the backside, he knows that he uses his he used his Purify, he's waiting for the Blazing Duet and raising for the right time to really come in to sweep the rest of Malaysia, but at the end of the day, it was just Hisham waiting for the Purify to finish, kicked him in, and just locking him down.
Yeah, man, Elton picking up the Holy Crystal immediately picks up 2 kills and 1 assist. That's the damage potential coming up from the Harry once he secures one of his core items. Right now, it's just, you know, Team Singapore, there's a bit of signs of life coming in at the very least, but then Team Malaysia knows how to punish, and Hisham looking for a pickup. Jin Xiang still secures the Lord for now, and it's also going to be Team Singapore finding onto Hisham and busting down where he stands.
This is the Singapore we know and love. They're finding the kills, they're finding the pickoffs. In Malaysia, they're being forced to make mistakes. Hisham wants to go to the back line. He needs to find Royvan to disrupt the Feather Airstrike, and the damage from Roy is coming to fruition. Malaysia, though, still has a little bit of an upper hand in terms of, hey, I have a little bit more of the crowd control potential. Taking a little itemizations, there's a Holy Trinity already built up. The Winter Crown also for Keith. And Bellamy, find the right pickoffs, find the right approach, and sustaining it against the team fight. Singapore does have a lot of burst though.
And don't forget, right, the burst comes into the form, I would say, from the side of Keith, from the side of Roy. Team Malaysia, on the other hand, this is exactly, remember when we went into game number 2, we're looking at Purify Cows. Wheelan getting kicked as well, and immediately gets melted down by the side of Elton. If it's been committed by the side of Nissan as well, pinning Benjamin against the wall. Amar used already Mystic Gush as Elton pick up a double kill already. The Lord still traveling down at the bottom side.
A pickoff for a pickoff. Hisham identified that Wheelan is left all alone to his own devices. He's got the flicker, he doesn't really have that much of a crowd control mitigation, and he takes advantage of that. Wheelan not having a field day in this game.
Yep, not only just that, Divine Glaive built over the side of Elton. If Elton is already doing an insane and unholy amount of damage, he's going to do even more. And now to make things worse, Nazhan already built a Blade Armor to try to counteract against Keith.
Taking a look at the replays, it kind of seems like, okay, he was trying to suss out for a little bit more information, didn't know where Hisham was. That was a quick and easy work. Bellamy therefore responds to try to pull attention away from that, but got caught himself between a rock and a hard place.
It seems like, you know, while we're watching the instant replay, Heavy's being committed by Nazhan as well. Team Singapore was able to do a lot of infrastructure damage down at the bot lane. At least this time around, Team Malaysia may have to be a little bit respectful over the side of Keith.
Yeah. never underestimate a Claude, especially a late-game powerhouse of a monster Claude, who's able to melt down the main frontline tanks of Malaysia. The way that they could potentially play this is try to bait out Yulun. I feel like Yulun is always trying to get into the main fights. He does have a little bit more sustain, has less of that defense, and very punishable for South Yulun.
I see Team Singapore trying to do something sneaky, but immediately get this discovered by the side Team Malaysia with just one of that Oracle Eye thing.
Little tough spot of bother for Singapore right here. They had so much of the upper hand. It's constant push and pull. But Malaysia, they've had a heck of a game. They had 3 games prior before this, and they won out that first game just now earlier on. They were happy about this, but this time around, they are struggling. Singapore is forcing mistakes from Malaysia. They're going in too deep. They're trying to find flanks that they cannot make.
But right now, Keith has already secured the Malefic Gun already. Seems like Team Singapore is already on site at the Lord Pit. Nashan is also there, does have the heavy spin, can use it to pin potentially Jinxiang all the way down the wall. Jinxiang doesn't really want to do anything. He's gonna let it go, let the Lord reset, let Team Malaysia try to do something around there. But it seems like Team Malaysia is not taking this bait.
Yeah, Singapore really needs to identify where Hisham is and where Elton is, because that's going to be the main damage coming in from the flanks. We've seen that played out once in this game, and we've seen the power that Hisham has over the shot calling potential, where, if you're wide open, that is it. That's the concealed play.
Gets spot out though, BMI. Keith goes all the way back to safety. Clear! We'll be able to find onto Hisham, but Nashan also pinning the member to the side. Team Singapore down against the wall. And speaking of which, the damage unleashed by the side of Amar. The bomb drop. Keith unable to find an angle to go in for the blazing duet as well. But even if he can, it is a little bit too late because Whelan has went down.
Whelan just playing this game as a sacrificial lamb, always the first to go down, and Malaysia capitalizing on Singapore's mistakes. But that wasn't a mistake. Keith was trying to bait everyone out. He's got BMI ready. He knew that the Cho was right in that bush. He knew that the angle at which Hisham was going to go for him, he BMI out of the way, and so discover him away out of that conceal. And now they're playing a losing battle. It's a 4v5.
Yep. And luckily, the longer that Team Singapore and also Team Malaysia dances around, this one Zaman Force already committed by the side of Elton as well. Better airstrike from Roy, but Hisham getting pulled back by the side of Bellamy as well. Nashan takes the Lord from Team Singapore. Keep going away with the crowd with the blazing duet. Will be able to bring down Nashan as well. It's going to be very costly, but Team Malaysia to take this Lord, and Elton that's a shutdown. Given overside to Roy.
Singapore found the angle, and Keith, he was the one to deal that damage in. They lost that Lord, but they have that fight. They're not going down without a win.
Yeah, but top side already cracked open, and also you got Super Minions marching against Team Singapore up top. You can see Keith is also taking a little bit too long to basically take down this Lord, and this is only just 17 minutes Lord.
There's 3 members coming into the fray. There's the Mystic Bomb just to find a little bit more information. There's Jinxiang, is there at the front line.
The stun. That's not to Hisham. Keith! Finding the blazing duet onto Amar. Lord Fennec is here! On the side of Team Singapore.
What a clutch play from Keith. He knows he's got the damage. He knows that win condition. Once you take that Gord out, they don't really have a lot of burst damage coming in from that laser. They have that zoning potential. And now Singapore has threat lightly though. They commit a little bit too much though.
And now it's going to be Whelan. The Eye of Bender Flicker will be able to catch onto Nashan. Nashan going to drag all the way out, maybe into a Team Malaysia, potentially into a fight they don't want to handle. But Team Singapore, this is a good fight. But bottom lane, you got to fix that wave, bro.
Good bait onto the heavy spin. Hisham trying to find a little bit more annoyance factor down into Singapore's bottom side. And hey, the waves are already pushing in. Singapore has to respond to that one. Malaysia is crumbling. They weren't expecting Keith to come in with that much more damage. But hey, it's a late game Claude.
Man, I mean, good job as of now. At the very least, Team Singapore was able to equalize in terms of economy, and especially when you have a Claw on the other side being equal in economy, and you have a higher for a gold laner, that's not very good, right? Currently, I would say, Team Malaysia was able to find those pickoffs very easily, but maybe, just maybe, they let the game go a little bit too long, and this time around, the Claude has scaled.
Well, for Malaysia, I think they're saying to themselves, hey, we have the whole day to play around. They can pull Team Singapore out of the jungle, find the back doors, find the angles towards Roy, and take that Farsa out before anything else really happens. But Keith is just patiently waiting right there. The way that they would potentially do it is maybe send Hisham to target onto Keith, but the damage is not enough. And Keith has already had that full build. He's got the gun, he's got the Winter Crown, he's holding on to all these core items. He's dealing that high damage as well.
Yep. still, the waves are not in the favor of Team Singapore, right? Top side is an open base. Yes, there's still a mid lane for the side of Team Singapore to basically work with. The second tier turret is still up. But, you know, there's not a lot of free real estate anymore. Team Singapore is conceding a lot of real estate over to Team Malaysia as they step in to the jungle of the side of Team Singapore, and it's not looking very safe for Team Singapore.
Malaysia just needs to keep Amar safe. I feel like he is the main factor for their success. Singapore is rotating upwards. Malaysia kind of understands and identifies where Singapore is on that map. Najan is already in position, but he wants to get that reposition onto the back line. At least they have some form of backdoor entrance. Roy is extremely exposed, especially if you have the traditional front-to-back lineup. Keith is starting that Lord. He's able to heal everything back up, saving Sreang for some health. And I do like the way that Singapore is actually layering in this team fights against Team Malaysia.
Top side, for the side of Team Singapore is constantly getting bad. The waves of super minions marching against Team Singapore is something that, you know, Team Singapore may be a little bit busy with, has to go back constantly to fix.
You know where Keith is? There's Conceal.
Conceal, and not only just that, oh, nice one coming up to the side of Whelan as well. Better airstrike also committed by the side of Roy, but Roy running out of HP because Razif is just jumping onto him as well. Bellamy goes down for the count. The unfortunately will be used in the choke point for the side of Team Malaysia as well. And now Keith still holding on, but has to do a full retreat. Nice pick off for the side of Team Malaysia.
Bellamy honestly bought so much time. He was so tanky. The Mystic Gush didn't do too much. He took a full shot to the face. He took 5 members. He held on to 5 members of Malaysia and gave Singapore a little bit more time to escape. The pullback again of Wilun.
I'm offended. We'll be landing onto Hisham. Hisham still gets on the way.
What a good pushback, securing that the Lord once again. Now Malaysia has the upper hand in terms of that push. Singapore does have a little bit more base defense capabilities. Keith has the Blazing Duet, but you don't want to waste the Blazing Duet on the minions themselves.
Yeah, and now with the Lord, this is going to be an open wound for the side of Team Singapore, right? Team Malaysia. Yes, they lost a little bit during the mid-late game, but they recovered their pick of Bellamy, and then after that, it's just no appeal from the side of Team Singapore. And now Team Singapore has braced for the defense.
Yep, top side T3 already down. Lord already made their way into the entrance way as Malaysia keeping busy with the T3 mid side. Elton has a lot of damage as a push back onto Jinxiang.
Bomb does land onto Keith as well. Heavy spin for the side, pinning Jinxiang all the way into the wall. Somros going to sound of Elton as well. Nice one coming up from Wilun, but it may need a lot more. The fair, the airstrike, the core, the base is already chunked down half HP, but the minions coming in over and over again against Team Singapore as they try to defend.
Okay, Malaysia does have a little bit of saving grace. Yes, they had a lot of trouble fighting this Kalea and taking him down just because their entire lineup doesn't really have a lot of physical damage. It's all magical, but Hisham getting pulled back once again. Able to shrimp out of the way. That's it for the airstrike. Being forced out.
That is a lot of damage that Elton was able to commit, and now it may be a little bit too much because Team Malaysia has that critical point as Team Malaysia clean sweeps against Team Singapore in a 2-0 fashion.
They were not going out without a fight. Singapore played their hearts out, and in this game, Malaysia won it out hard.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, Team Malaysia, you know, riding on the tempo that they've gained against Team Indonesia earlier just now, and now, you know, albeit a very shaky game, number 2 early game, especially when Keith was just, you know, doing a lot of damage on this claw, but it's a little too late. Harry was also doing a lot. He was able to pop, you know, Farsa like half HP even before, and forcing the Farsa away because Razif on the Lapu Lapu would just instantly dive him.
In the late game, I feel like the Ruby, the Kalea was a little bit tougher to take down. Jinxiang also held on to his own quite a bit, taking a full Mystic Gush and a little bit more for Elton as well. But the fact of the matter is, whenever Bellamy gets caught out, they try to sound the alarm, they try to pull the trigger, try to do as much damage as they can, and keep still holding on to the Blazing Duet. I felt like he should have just went in, and the whole team just engaged. They had to commit. Singapore was a little bit too passive on that last play.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of times where, you know, it's just Team Singapore. I think they do have damage already, but I feel like they lack that catch, right? Bellamy was catching quite well one after another, but after a while, you start to see, you know, Hisham just outputting so much pure as well, just baiting out everything from the side of Kalea. And once Kalea doesn't really have Tsunami Slam, there's nothing for the side of Team Singapore can do. But of course, MVP goes over to Razif.
Yeah, Razif on the other side of the table though. This guy is just such a menace onto the back line. It kind of seems like Malaysia's just taking turns. At the early game, it's Hashim just being such a nuisance towards Team Singapore. In the late game, though, Raziv is just that one guy sitting nicely on top of Team Singapore and one-man army pushing the rest of Team Singapore away. This was a loss for Team Singapore, but this was a hard-fought battle. They had a lot of mistakes that were made, but it's back to the drawing block board for them.
Yeah, I feel like for the side of Team Singapore, I mean, the next game they have to play against is what? The Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also, well, Myanmar as well, right? So far, unfortunately, there's no games that Team Singapore was able to secure as of now. GG, well played though. But of course, Team Malaysia coming in, swooping in.